Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you. We just getting back to the crib from the gym, man. Arm day, the best day, my favorite day. Hit some arms, some chest, 45 minutes of cardio in and out. Back at the crib, I'm about to cook some dinner real quick. Take me a nap before I got to be back at work tonight. Quick video, though. I've been getting a lot of requests to make this video talking about the Correctional Officer Training Academy. What's the academy like? What's the training like? What are you going to go through? What can I expect? You know, all types of different questions about the academy. So here y'all go. I'm going to make a video from my personal experience. I went through two different academies. I went through the academy when I worked at the county jail in West Virginia. That was back in 2012. And then I went through the Federal Law Enforcement Training Academy for the Bureau of Prisons, FLETC, that's down in Georgia. And that was back in around the end of 2013, going into 2014, I believe. So I'm gonna give y'all the whole spiel, you know, my personal experience. I'm gonna give y'all some tips, advice. I'm gonna give y'all the whole game right here in this video. So I'll start with the state academy. When I went through the state academy for the county jail when I lived in West Virginia, it was 6 weeks long. You know, you would meet up at the jail and we would get a van, and all of us that was from that institution, we would all ride together down there to the academy. I think it was in wherever, it's in Glenville, West Virginia. It was about an hour and some change from the jail that we worked at. And we would stay down there for the week, right? When I went through that academy, I felt like that academy was almost like being in the military or boot camp. I never personally served in the military. I could say it was like playing football. When I played college football, you know, summer camp, you on campus, you like the football team is the only people that's there, unless it's like students that's taking summer classes. You know, you doing like 2-a-days, you got all kind of meetings, stuff like that. It was real regimented. It was real strict. It was almost like being in the military. We had to wake up every day at 5 a.m. We had to put on our PT gear. They give you all your gear, like your t-shirt, your shorts. I want to say they gave us a uniform, or we brought our own work uniform, our Class A's. Your Class A's are like your correctional officer uniform, but it's like more dressier. You know, you got the button-up shirt with the collar on it. The Class B's are more like a polo, but it's like your work shirt. We had to wear the Class A's while we were down there. So we would have to get up every day, 5 a.m. We got to be in formation. You know, and I think we would have to jog. I can't remember how far it was, but because it's been so long, I want to say maybe a mile or two. It might have been shorter or less. I can't remember. I know we had to it was like we were in formation in one line. The first person in the line, you know, carrying the flag, and we had to jog. You know, the instructors would be out there with us. You know, they'd be out there like, move, double time, forward, march. You know, stuff like that, man. After that, that was a typical morning. Then you go back to the room, you got to get showered, you know, brush your teeth, get dressed. Then we had to then we go eat breakfast around maybe 7-ish on the college campus. I think it took place, I think it was on the college campus. I can't remember. But then we would go eat breakfast. Then we had to go to the classroom. We had to line up in formation, and the instructors, they would come through, and we had to, you know, basically be in formation like the military, and they expected our uniform. You know, we in our Class A uniforms. When I worked at the county jail, you couldn't have facial hair. All you could have was like a mustache. That was it. Or you had to be clean shaven. So they coming through, they inspecting everything. They seeing if you got any stubble on your face. They making sure like your belt line, it has to be your belt, where your belt buckle goes, it has to be lined up with the buttons on your shirt. They making sure your boots are shined. What else? Everything. It's almost like I said, the military. Then after that, we would do class work. Depending on what day it was, you would go through class. You know, you're doing all the book work, going over all the policy, the history of corrections, stuff like that. And then depending on what day it was, you would do maybe like some scenario-based stuff outside of the classroom. You would do, you know, like disturbance control. You might have to go change. Some days you may have to bring your PT clothes, and we would have to change out. You may do like riot control. They give us all like a baton stick, and you know, we got to all line up in formation. and you got the instructors. They'll have on like a dummy suit where it got like pads all over, and they trying to break the line, attack us, and we got to stay in formation and keep trying to push them back. They're simulating them being an inmate that's resisting, like in a riot situation. And we, as the correctional officer trainees, we got to push them back. Stuff like that. What else did we do? We had to get pepper spray. Depending on the academy you go through, you'll have to get pepper spray. So when I went through that academy, we had to get mace. So basically, the instructor, they'll stand 6 feet away from you, right in front of you. They got a can of pepper spray, OC, mace. We call it OC, but if you just coming into corrections, you may refer to it as different things. But for correctional purposes, we refer to it as OC. So you basically got to stand there, right? The instructor is 6 feet away from you. You have to hold one hand over one eye. You pick which one, and you hold it. The instructor, they point the spray at you, and they'll say, spray, spray, spray. Boom, hit you right in your other eye. As soon as you get done, you have to, we had to do an obstacle course. You got to run like 15, 20 yards to the first station. There's somebody there. They got like some the dummy gear on. You have to fight them off with a stick for like 10, 20 seconds, right? Then you have to go to another station. I can't remember exactly what we had to do, but you had to do something else at that station for like 20 seconds. Then you got to run maybe another 20, 30 yards at the end of the obstacle course, and you have to handcuff somebody, all while you being sprayed in the eye, man. And I'll tell y'all, I'll forewarn anybody that's about to go to the academy, that's entering corrections, going through the hiring process. The OC spray sucks, man. It just downright sucks. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to be no tough macho guy. That shit had me fucked up, man. And it was like the middle of summer when I went to the academy. So when it's hot out, it makes it 10 times worse. If it's cool when you going to the academy, like cooler, like fall or winter, the breeze kind of cools it off, but it still sucks nonetheless, because that OC, you taking a direct hit to the eye, and they do that at the academy so you would know what it feels like, so you just, once you on the floor, you working inside the prison, working the units, you carry in OC, you know what it feels like, so you just not just taking it out, just spraying inmates unnecessarily when you actually on the job, they want you to get a taste of what it feels like. They had another scenario. This one was optional. You can get on the bus. There was a school bus. They had an old broken down school bus, and you had the option of whether if you wanted to get on the bus, sit down, and the instructors, they throw like a grenade in there. It's like, I think it was filled with, it's like an OC. I can't remember what they call it, man, but it's like a grenade, and it smokes the whole bus up with OC, man. I didn't do it personally. I'm like, I had enough. I'm not finna just subject myself to pain if it's voluntary. I had enough. I know what it can do. That OC is powerful stuff, man. It can get nine out of 10 inmates to comply with your orders. If you got an inmate stabbing another inmate, trying to come at you, assault you, inmates fighting, they won't break it up. So I know, Then after that, at the end of the day, you would go eat around 4. I think you could change. We might have had to still wear a uniform. Then after that, you go eat around 4 to 5. You may have another class right after you eat. If you didn't have a class, then you were basically free, right? Until about 9 o'clock, man. This shit, that's why I say this shit was like the military. Then at like around 9 or 9:30, it was lights out. You had to be on your floor or whatever dorm you were living in. You couldn't, I think the women COs, they were on this side. The males were on this side. There was no co-mingling, nothing like that. You had to be in your room after 10:30. So it was like real strict, man. It was real regimented. I actually enjoyed that academy because I learned a lot of good stuff as far as corrections 101, and I've taken that with me in my career. Even when I went to a different agency, I didn't forget the basics. When you go through a good academy, don't never forget the basics, man, that the instructors are telling you, the instructors are teaching you, man, because it'll carry you no matter where you go in your career, no matter what institution you're at, what agency you work for. Always stick to the corrections 101, the stuff that they tell you when you're going through the academy. On the flip side, when I went to the federal correctional officer training academy, it was like night and day. It was down in Georgia. I was working at the federal prison in West Virginia. I had got on with the feds from the county jail. I was working at FCI McDowell. I worked for like, I want to say I think both times I went to the academy, I worked about 9 months on the job before they actually sent me to the academy. So this time I had to drive down to the federal academy. It's all the way in Georgia, so that's like an 8-hour drive. You know, they reimburse you and everything when you come back to the prison for the feds. You know, when I was at the county, the state correctional academy, you drive down for the week, but then you come back for the weekend and you just drive back down Monday morning. You know, you leave for, I think it was Friday evening. The federal, you stay down there. You pretty much staying down there. You down there. That one was 3 weeks, you know, for the feds. You down there the whole time. If you work at a federal prison, that's on the whole other side of the country. Say you out at a federal prison in Cali, Hawaii, way out. If it's, I think, more than 8 to, if it's more than 10 hours, I think the prison will they will give you a credit card and you can fly. You fly in to Fleshy, man. We had one dude in my class. He didn't show up till like 2 days later. We had already started, you know, with the training and everything. He didn't show up till like 2 days later. He was coming from the federal prison way out in Hawaii. His flight had got delayed somewhere along the way. So he ended up starting like 2 days later, but they sped him up and he went through it. That academy, it was nothing like this state. It was almost like they treat you like an adult almost. You know, when I was at the state, they treat you like you a cadet, like you going through Paris Island, full metal jacket or some shit, man. Like you in the actual army going through boot camp. This one, it was like you get down there, I think the following day, I think you either had a 1 day grace period, like on that Sunday where you kind of get settled in, you get your room assignment and all that when you get on the base. Then that Monday morning you report, you wear your uniform and stuff. But that one, it was like, we did everything from 8 to 4. It was like classwork. You would go eat breakfast, 7 in the morning. Then you would do the classwork, you know, from like 8 to 4. Then depending on the day, you would do like different scenario-based training, like what we did at the state. You do like the riot control. At this academy, you shoot the guns too. You got to qualify to carry the guns. You know, everything at all these academies, you have to pass. If you don't pass, especially with the feds, if you fail something, a test, a written test, the shooting part, the physical, like running part, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose your job. So I say that to say this, take everything serious. Don't take anything for a joke. Don't think it's a game. You out there on vacation, you know, enjoy yourself when you're not in class, but take the classwork serious. Because like I say, if you fail anything and they send you back, your warden, 9 times out of 10, they're going to let you go. They're going to terminate you. I've seen it plenty times throughout my career with the BOP. I've been with the BOP 12 years now. I've seen countless people go out to Glencoe. They either fail the written or the running part or the shooting part. Sometimes they may give you another chance. It just all depends on the situation, the warden, what's going on. But I've seen a lot of people get let go from the job. So you got to think, you invested all that time going through the hiring process, you know, waiting for all these phone calls, waiting on them to get back with you. You done got on the job, you done probably quit your other job to get on, and then you go down there and you flunk out, and now you ain't got no job. So that's why I say, take everything serious. If you know you ain't really been running, stuff like that. I think with the training academy, when I was down there, we had to do like, I think there's like an official Olympic size track. I think you had to do a whole lap around the track within like 3 minutes, man. I don't know the exact details. Like I said, I did it back in 2014. So it's been like 10 years. I think it was either a lap or a lap and a half. You got to do a lap within like 3 minutes, and you have to handcuff somebody when you're done. They had other stuff like you would have to run up a short flight of steps, cross over, run down, and then run back over in a reasonable amount of time. You had to shoot. We carried the shotgun, the rifle, the M16, and the pistol. You got to shoot and hit a certain amount on the target and pass that. Both academies. When I was at the state academy, we didn't shoot. You had to actually, when you come back, they select who they wanted to shoot, and you know, to qualify to take the inmates, you know, to jail, to court from the jail back and forth, like the transport officers, you know. But everybody at the Federal Law Enforcement Academy has to qualify with the guns, you know. So if you ain't been, you know, you can go to the gun range, practice, work up, getting your aim up. If you really ain't been shooting or aren't really familiar with guns, just go to a gun range that's local. Maybe rent some guns. I think we carry a 9mm Smith & Wesson, so you can see if you can rent that exact gun. And then I think it's a Remington 870 shotgun, and it's an M16 rifle. Try to rent them guns, get familiar with them, you know, practice shooting. You have to back up like a certain distance. They'll start you out at 5 feet from the target. You got to hit a certain amount of times, and I think it goes back 7. And then I think it goes all the way back to like 15 or 20 feet, you know. So this practice at different ranges, you know. If you go to a gun range, they'll move the target. They have usually adjustable targets. You can move it however far out you want, you know. So that's a good idea. Practice, work on getting your aim up. Go to the track, start jogging. If you ain't really been running, you know, I think 3 minutes is reasonable for the amount of time they give you to do I think it's either the lap or the lap and a half and a handcuff. We got plenty of people that work at the prison with me. Trust me, man. You know, I don't like to talk bad about nobody, but I'm just like using them for an example. They're like bigger people and they passed it, you know, but I've also seen some people that couldn't pass it. You know, they may have been smaller, or I don't know, they may just wasn't practicing. So if you going to the academy 2-3 months into in advance, you should go ahead and just start running. Start going to the park or the track and just start working on your running. You know, just do some little sprints, stuff like that. Just start getting your wind up, you know, so that way once you get down there, you already have been running and you used to doing the jogging. If you just try to go down there and you know you ain't been doing no type of activities, it's like sports. If you try to go into camp, you've been chilling the whole summer, man. Now you out of shape. You're not going to be no good. So you should go to the track or somewhere and just start working on your jogging. Try to time yourself, you know. Try to beat your time. That way you could pass with flying colors. Like I say, you have to pass every portion when you down there at these academies, man. Whether it's the state, the county jail, the feds, any agency you go to, man. If you fail something, a lot of times, man, they're gonna let you go. You know, what else? Take everything serious. Study for the test. If the teacher in there going over something and they say, y'all, you know how you used to be in school, the teacher be like, you might want to remember this or you might want to highlight that. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be on the test. You got to take written tests like maybe every week or, you know, like once a week. So if they say something like that, you know, to highlight it, study, you know, make sure you studying the night before the test. The Federal Law Enforcement Academy, like I say, they treat you like adults. You just do 8 to 4. After that, you done for the whole evening, you know. That don't mean go down there and it's like you in Vegas or, you know what I'm saying, it's like a free-for-all. You still need to control yourself. You still need to remember that you down there to do your job and to keep your job and go through the academy. I've seen people that were down there, man, they I guess, I don't know if they've never been nowhere like that or they've been away from their family. It's like they think this is like Girls Gone Wild or spring break. And it's like they lose their mind and it's like they start going crazy. I've actually seen people at the academy get sent home and lose their job because they were down there doing dumb stuff. You know, drinking and they get drinking too much. They might be running through the dorms butt naked or just doing dumb, idiotic stuff, unnecessary stuff. You still have to remember, man, you representing your institution, right? And you down there to do a job. And your agency, they are investing a lot of money for you to go down to the academy, man. I don't know what the exact numbers may be. It may be like $10,000, $20,000 because you got to think they're paying for your food. They're paying for your stay, your hotel, your room and board. They're paying for all the training, all that, man. And depending on how long you down there, that can add up. You may, like I said, the feds I was at was 3 weeks. The state was 6 weeks. You know, it just all depends on the agency, how long it is, how in-depth it is, if it's like the military or if it's like more like classroom work. When I was at the feds, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I felt like it was nowhere near as hard as being in the state. Because we didn't do no PT, nothing like that. All you would do, you get up in the morning, you get dressed, you have to wear a uniform and stuff, or a uniform while we down there, and they give you like a duty belt to carry with a fake handgun and stuff. And then you go to breakfast like 7 in the morning. You got to meet in the classroom around 8, you know, depending on what we had going on that day. After 4, you done. You know what I'm saying? So, but nonetheless, treat it all serious. Run, make sure you jogging. Like I say, hit the gun range. If you never used the gun, work on getting your aim up, stuff like that. Study for all the tests. And take it serious, man. It's not no damn spring break. It ain't no vacation. Take it serious, man, because you don't want to be that person, that goes down there, flunks out, and now you out of a job, man. People gonna be talking about you at the institution. Oh yeah, he such and such. They went down to the academy. They flunked out. They let them go. So, and then let me see. As far as the annual training, after you come back from the academy, depending on your agency, you may have to requalify every year. So when I worked at the county jail, once we were done with the academy, you didn't have to do no type of training unless you went and applied for like some special training, like to transport the inmates to jail back and forth, to court back and forth. You had to go out and shoot to qualify to carry the gun and, transport the inmates. The feds, we have to do annual training every year to requalify for everything. So you do all this at the institution, wherever institution you at. So it's called ART, annual refresher training. You got to go through, it's like a week long. They do it 2 different times. You do the first part, you go through all the classwork, you going through all the policy, the BOP procedure, talking about stuff like mental health inmates, suicide, dealing with special topics that's coming up in the BOP, like transgender inmates. It's all basically like classwork, You won't have to work your regular shift that week. You will be in class all that week. It's like from Monday through Friday. So it's like all classwork, and it's like an instructor based. It's like one of your coworkers at your institution. It's like a collateral duty. They'll be instructing the whole class. You'll be in there with different people depending on your agency. And then in the fall, we have to go out every year. We got to requalify with the guns. So your institution will have a gun range on the grounds at the prison. You got to go out there and you got to reshoot, just how you did at the academy when you was down there in Glencoe, Georgia, for the federal Correctional Officer Training Academy. You got to pass that too. That's a little more lenient. If you go out there and you don't pass, some people may just have a bad day and they not what they're shooting. The instructors will let you shoot again. Usually they may give you a couple more chances or whatnot. If you don't pass, you may have to go talk to the warden, and then I don't know what's up in the air from there, But those are some of the main things I remember going through the academy. The main thing I could tell you, like I said, is to study for all the tests, especially if they say hot, you might want to remember this for the test. Write that down. Study the night before the test. Study leading up to the test. And study some the night before, and maybe study right before. If you get there before the professor or instructors get there, study right up into the test. Take the test serious. The running part, start running now. If you got, you're going to be going to the academy in a few months, just go ahead, start jogging so you can be prepared. You want to stay ready. You want to get ready. You don't want to get down there and you got to get ready. You want to be ready. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as the shooting part, if you got to shoot, to qualify with the guns, maybe you can find out what guns y'all carry, and you can find a local gun range and see if you can rent a gun or maybe purchase that gun if you have the money to, and just start getting familiar with it, shooting with it from different distances. I think we have to do the quick draw too. You will stand there, the instructors they'll be in the back with in like the bullpen, and they have like a mic, and you got the headphones up your ears and eardrums. They'll be like, on your mark, ready. You have your hands right here. And the targets will be like this. They're automatic targets. So as soon as he said, he'd be like, shooters, on your mark, fire. And then the target will turn real quick. You got to take your gun out and you got to put either 2 or 3 rounds, depending on what the course of fire is, But yeah, that's the academy in a nutshell. I hope I answered some of y'all's questions. I know this is a longer video. If you have anything that I didn't answer, you could drop a comment below and I'll answer that if I left out anything. I was trying to cover as many topics as I could when it comes to the academy. Treat it like you still at work. You're an extension of your job when you're at the academy. You still on the clock. You still representing your agency. You still are law enforcement. So you have to treat it like it's a job, not a vacation. If y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got the merchandise for sale. shop with me on my website. This is one of my shirts right here I created. Design, Money and Muscle. Got the Eminem logo, man. Everything you see on my website, I personally designed myself. So anytime you buy some merch from me, you personally supported my craft, my vision, my creativity, man. But yeah, like I said, if y'all got any questions about the Academy that I may have missed or didn't cover, drop a comment below in the video and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.